Welcome. When the upper school started in August, we were full of eagerness and enthusiasm for what this school year would hold. We had big plans for this year. Everyone was excited, and a lot of it actually panned out. We had the upper school's first ever field day, celebrated our school's 60th anniversary, had the school's first ever Halloween festival, first ever Blacklight pep rally, and it was all great. And it was the first time that I've ever seen everyone in the upper school somehow involved in all of it. We had the ambassadors, YLC, SGA, Honor Council, football, basketball, cheer, dance, band, National Art Society, everyone. All these first times that we had would not have been possible without us all working together, and Mr. Lease approving it after way too many meetings in his office. But then, this year had a unique first, the first time the school had to shut down unexpectedly due to a pandemic. The difference between us and other schools, though, is that for them, all the new and exciting events would have stopped there. But for us, they didn't. Zoom meetings, the virtual college board, drive-through parades, virtual awards day, all of the firsts that came out of the past few months go on and on. It was definitely devastating for us to have a school year cut short, but it didn't stop us from growing close together as an upper school. It may have stopped our Wi-Fi a few times or really tested how long our families could be with each other, but we kept going. And it was hard and it was unexpected, but it didn't stop us. We had big plans for this year. We all worked together to make those plans a reality. We didn't plan for this to happen, but it did, and we became better and stronger for it. So thank you. Thank you to every student in the upper school, to all the teachers that helped and supported us throughout the entire year, to everyone. I know that you will all be in great hands next year with Ashley as SGA president and a great set of leaders to continue making more first times. My advice to all of you is to always cherish every experience because you never know when it will be interrupted. Always do things that have never been done because you never know when you might not have the opportunity to do that anymore. And finally, always do things together because you never know when you're going to be forced to be apart. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura Kate, for welcoming everyone to our virtual Awards Day ceremony, and for all of your incredible work this year to foster community here at Randolph. We'll begin our ceremony with what is surely the most interesting award this year, given the circumstances. The following students will receive the Perfect Attendance Award, which was determined based on school attendance prior to the transition to distance learning. Priya Chenupati, Greta LaFrance, Cole Queenie, Lucy Sinclair, and Pong Samboon. Congratulations to those students. The President's Volunteer Service Award Program recognizes students who contribute many hours of service to the community. Award levels of bronze, silver, or gold are presented based on program criteria, which include the student's age and number of hours volunteered. We are proud to recognize our students who selflessly donate their time and talent. This year's Randolph School recipients of the Bronze Award are Alex Covert, Rachel Gann, Mallory Holland, and Jack Johnson. This year's recipients of the Silver Award are Anna Kate Goodson, Emma Grace Goodson, Emma Hinson, Natalie Huber, and Anahita Maleknia. This year's recipients of the Gold Award are Abby Amos, Ronnie Ginn, and Elena Malapur. Congratulations to all of these students, and thank you for your service to the community. The Harry M. Rhett Jr. Community Service Award is presented in honor and in recognition of Mr. Rhett's leadership role in the founding society of Randolph School and his role on the Board of Trustees. The Harry M. Rhett Jr. Endowed Scholarship Program was established through the generosity of his children and is awarded annually to a senior who has demonstrated outstanding service to the community. This year's recipient has been a fierce advocate for the arts within the Randolph community, but her engagement and celebration of the arts in the broader Huntsville community makes her stand out within the senior class. This student served as the youngest co-chair for Panoply, Huntsville's yearly art festival, fulfilling a number of duties, which included organizing volunteers for the events. She also served as a volunteer swim coach during the summer months and has spent several sessions at Camp McDowell working with students with special needs. I'm pleased to present this year's award to Abby Amos. The DAR Good Citizen is a senior selected by the faculty who embodies the qualities of dependability, service, leadership, and patriotism. This year's recipient joined Randolph at the start of her junior year, but in 2 short years has become an indispensable part of our community. Her positivity knows no bounds, and her enthusiasm for connecting with her peers and teachers has been a constant since her first day on campus. She worked tirelessly to help create the school's debate team, while also demonstrating tremendous engagement in her academic and artistic endeavors. I am pleased to present the DAR Good Citizen Award to Maya Crocker. The DAR Outstanding Work in American History Award is presented annually to the student with the highest grade in American history. According to her teacher, this year's recipient possesses an uncommon intellectual agility, which she demonstrates frequently during class discussions and through her written work. This student is able to take a complex idea, hold it in her mind for critical examination, incorporate new or contradictory evidence, and then deliver a thoughtful judgment as to its validity, skills which translate far beyond the history classroom. I am pleased to present this year's award to Elizabeth Shannon. Senator John J. Sparkman was born and raised in North Alabama. He put himself through law school and served in the U.S. House of Representatives for 10 years and the Senate for 32 years. He was a signer of the Japanese Peace Treaty and a vice presidential nominee of the Democratic Party. He also helped pass legislation in housing, public buildings, and the GI Bill of Rights. He retired to North Alabama and, together with his grandson Tazewell T. Shepard, wanted to encourage young people to go into public service. Senator Sparkman and his grandson Tazewell Shepard created the John J. Sparkman Award for an outstanding student in government, which is awarded each year to the senior who is most likely to make a positive contribution to the future welfare of our city, state, or nation. This year's recipient has demonstrated her dedication and engagement to political causes throughout her time in the upper school. Having volunteered for campaigns on the local, state, and national level, this student was recognized for her leadership by being named chair of the Alabama High School Democrats of America. Within our Randolph community, she organized voter registration drives, served as a director for the Youth Leadership Council, participated in our Model UN program, and volunteered countless hours serving various organizations in the broader Huntsville community. I'm pleased to present this year's award to Rose Naderi.
The Alabama High School Athletic Association's Bryant-Jordan Student Athlete Award recognizes 2 high school seniors from each school in the state. One is for the Achievement Award, recognizing a student athlete that has overcome a significant setback or form of adversity to become a top student athlete, while the other is the Scholar Athlete Award, focusing on a combination of the highest accomplishments in both academics and athletics. Winners from each school receive scholarship money and then compete at the district, region, and state levels, with additional scholarship money being awarded with each win. The winner of this year's Bryant-Jordan Scholar Athlete Award was also chosen as the district level winner. He has been an elite swimmer for the Randolph swim team over the years, to include being awarded the most valuable swimmer for the 2019 season, which ended with the team earning 16th place at the state meet in the 6A, 7A division. At the state meet, he was part of the medley relay team that finished 11th, 400 freestyle relay team that finished 10th, and took 11th in the 100-yard backstroke. Outside of athletics, he is also an all-state violinist, a member of the Cum Laude Society, the World Language Honor Society, and was recently awarded a National Merit Scholarship. Combine these stellar accomplishments with his 4-point forever GPA and perfect 36 ACT score, and you have the winner of Randolph's Bryant-Jordan Scholar Athlete Award, Ethan Wan. Randolph's winner of the Bryant-Jordan Achievement Award is a great example of a well-rounded student athlete that excels in all areas at Randolph. He just received the Baseball Captain Award as part of his 3-sport athletic career. He's also a member of the Concert Choir, the Cum Laude Society, the World Language Honor Society, and was named a National Merit Finalist. The Achievement Award winner's athletic career was interrupted by major knee surgery in the fall of his junior year. The recovery process consequently ended his basketball career, but after recovery, he accepted the challenge from his friends and coaches to play football for the first time ever. After starting at linebacker for the 2019 season, he had the following to say about his experience. Playing football helped me grow both mentally and physically in ways that I couldn't have imagined. It helped me develop more appreciation for how bad situations can turn into great outcomes, and I'm extremely glad that I decided to pursue this new sport. Randolph's winner of the Bryant-Jordan Achievement Award is John Calvin Perry. Each year, the Edor G. Anderson Jr. Award is given to an outstanding male and female senior athlete who has reflected in their years at Randolph the following qualities: soundness of character, a sense of competition, leadership, and sportsmanship, both on and off the field. Each person must have competed in 2 or more sports. Nominations and final voting are conducted by our coaches and athletic staff. This year's female recipient of the award is one of the most decorated student athletes in Randolph's 60-year history. In her only season of Randolph softball 2 years ago, she led the team in every hitting, scoring, and pitching category and named team MVP, but that's not the sport where she most excels. This student athlete was the first 7th grader in Alabama high school history to win a state championship as an individual in any sport when she won the golf title at the 6A, 7A level. She went on to win numerous state individual and team titles in golf, but unfortunately was not able to defend either title this past spring due to the pandemic. She also led the North team to victory in the first ever Alabama High School North versus South All-Star competition last summer. Next year, she will be attending the University of Alabama as part of the women's golf team. There's simply not enough time to name all her accolades from outside school competition, but they include competing in Scotland and Japan on 2 Team USAs, and next year she will compete in the postponed Augusta National Women's Amateur Championship at the Augusta National Golf Club. The female winner of this year's Edor G. Anderson Jr. Award goes to Michaela Morard. This year's male recipient of the award has been such a key athlete in Randolph's cross-country, indoor, and outdoor track and field programs the past several years that he's taken home numerous Pillar Awards, Coaches Awards, and Team Player Awards due to his leadership both on and off the track. In the past 4A, 5A indoor state track meet, where the boys finished 4th, he won a state title as part of the 4x400 team and finished 2nd in the 4x800 with a new school record. He was positioned to have an incredible spring outdoor season until it was cut short by the pandemic. This year's recipient has also been inducted into both the National Honor Society and the World Language Honor Society. The male winner of this year's Edor G. Anderson Jr. Award goes to Jack Shamban. The Honor of the Game Awards are voted on each year by the Randolph coaching staff and given to 1 male and 1 female sophomore or junior athlete and a varsity head coach who all honored the game for committing to the team, displaying strong character, and developing a disciplined spirit. This year's female recipient of the award is a junior who demonstrated strong leadership on and off the court and field while thriving on 3 teams this year. After winning the Raider Award in volleyball last year, this year she won the Hold the Rope Award after helping lead her team to an area championship and Sweet 16 finish at the state tournament. As a Coaches Award winner for the basketball team, she started every game this past winter and then was off to a great start with this year's softball season, where she's also been a multi-year starter until this season was cut short by the pandemic. She accomplished all of this while taking 3 AP courses, Honors Physics, and French 5, and being named to the World Language Honor Society and Dean's List. The female winner of this year's Honor of the Game Award goes to Eliana Horowitz. This year's male recipient of the award is a sophomore who brought home the Varsity Boys Basketball Defensive Player of the Year Award this past season after leading the JV team to a 20-win season last year. This past spring, he was a starter on the varsity boys soccer team, which was off to a very promising start before being cut short by the pandemic. While not on the court or pitch, this award winner served on the Honor Council and was named to the National Honor Society, World Language Honor Society, and made the Dean's List. The male winner of this year's Honor of the Game Award goes to Sam Cervic. Success isn't only measured by wins or postseason play. Another metric we use in athletics is how many students choose to participate. This year we set an all-time high with 82% of our 7th through 12th graders participating in at least one sport. We also set new records with upper school participation reaching 80% and middle school participation reaching 86%. So before we name the Coaches Award winner, I'd like to commend all of our incredible coaches and their student athletes, as well as thank our faculty for accommodating these students and their busy workloads. This year's Coaches Award goes to a coach who truly exemplifies the commitment, character, and discipline this award stands for. the ability to coach 2 seasons, manage numerous administrative duties, and be genuinely respected and loved by your players, coaching colleagues, and fellow administrators is quite an accomplishment. This coach took over as the head middle school football coach while maintaining a varsity assistant role, which makes for an incredibly busy fall season. He followed the fall season by returning as the leader of the girls varsity basketball program after stepping down for health reasons 3 years ago. The success of this team's season wasn't marked with wins as much as it was marked by inspired play and commitment to improvement. A great indicator of this was seen when sports signups took place last month, and the number of girls basketball players 7th through 12th grade jumped from 18 this past season to 30 this coming year. The time he is investing in this program will continue to show great signs for years to come. I'm proud to announce this year's winner of the Honor of the Game Coaches Award, going to a great coach and a great guy, Coach Wright Ward.
The Trey Wilbourn Memorial Scholarship is presented annually in memory of Captain James Newton Wilbourn III, a United States Marine who graduated from Randolph School in 1980. Trey was active in athletics and numerous school organizations during his years at Randolph. Trey, beloved by anyone who knew him, was committed to his faith and compassion for others, and had a special impact on young people by encouraging them and just being a friend. Trey was killed in action in Kuwait on February 23, 1991, while flying his 38th combat sortie during the Kuwait liberation conflict. Trey's senior quote is a clear message of how he lived his life. The quality of a man's life is in direct proportion to his commitment to excellence. It is in his memory that his family dedicates this award. The award is presented annually to a member or members of the rising junior or senior class who best reflect the example Trey set. I am pleased to present this year's award to Evans Bryant and Emma Gold.
Matthew Pettis Naylor had a unique gift for living life to its fullest. He loved reading and learning about the world in which he lived. He especially liked history, the World War II era specifically. But more than that, he could not be distracted from enjoying each day. When asked about his day at school, no matter what had gone on, he always answered, "It was a great day." And this was true for him. After completing the 10th grade at Randolph, Matthew's life sadly ended. The Matthew Pettis Naylor Memorial Scholarship is awarded to a member of the rising junior class who displays the following qualities which also describe Matthew: enthusiasm for learning, engagement with life, curiosity and respect for the world around them. Teachers of this year's recipient have commented that she embraces each new day with an infectious positive attitude and welcomes all that she comes in contact with. I'm pleased to award this year's Matthew Pettis Naylor Memorial Scholarship to Lydia Slocum. The Sophomore Leadership Award is presented annually to an outstanding member of the sophomore class who demonstrates leadership potential both in and outside the classroom. This year's recipient leads not only in the classroom, where she is well respected by her teachers and peers, but also in all aspects of school life at Randolph, participating in outdoor track and field as well as the concert band. Her teachers have commented that she lifts her peers to be better students in the classroom, often approaching challenging concepts and ideas head on, but always with a remarkable poise and grace. She demonstrates a strong interest in the world around her, staying abreast of current events that shape her worldview. She is not reserved in engaging in class discourse with those who both share and do not share her same opinions. She is a model of character in all she does, having served on the Honor Council for both her 9th and 10th grade years. Early this year, she was asked to speak to the middle school students about the importance of honor and integrity at Randolph. Middle school faculty and administrators commented on her poise and the mature manner in which she connected with the middle school students. This year's Sophomore Leadership Award is presented to Kate Owens.
The Yale Book Award is presented annually to an outstanding member of the junior class. The recipient must possess the qualities of academic achievement and promise, distinguished achievements in extracurricular activities, leadership ability and acceptance by his or her peers, personal integrity, and school spirit. The recipient must be well recognized by both the faculty and students as a person of high achievement and promise. Whether in the classroom or in the midst of an athletic competition, this year's recipient can be counted on to put her classmates or her team first. Never one to look for attention for her achievements, this student works to ensure that she and others are able to perform at their very best. This year, the Yale Book Award is presented to Eliana Horowitz. The Principal's Award is presented to a member of the senior class who demonstrates leadership in a significant or unique manner. This year's recipient first met with me at the end of her junior year with a laundry list of plans for how to make the upcoming year special for the entire school. While her leadership role amongst her fellow seniors was evident, she always looked for ways to ensure that every plan she undertook would impact as many students as possible. All of her ideas took into account how we can best build community and traditions, and how her classmates can leave a legacy which sets them apart from previous classes. Whether it was the Upper School Field Day, the return of the Halloween Festival, or our first Blacklight Pep Rally, none of them would have been possible without this year's recipient of the Principal's Award, Laura Kate Evans.
The MANWITHKIWI Award is given to a member of the sophomore or junior class that portrays great promise, as well as a demonstration of growth, dedication, and skill in the visual arts. The MANWITHKIWI Award is named in honor of William Walker, who had a quirky and creative sense of humor that was reflected in his art as well as his life. William loved to create and worked through great adversity to continue to do so for as long as he was able. Art was a refuge for him. This year's recipient of the MANWITHKIWI Award is Sam Reischauer.
The Bruce Tonetti Memorial Scholarship is presented annually to a student who consistently displays the qualities of the scholar-athlete: academic prowess, representation of the school in interscholastic athletics, fair play, and enthusiasm. This year's Bruce Tonetti Scholarship is presented to Sam Cervic. The U.S. Navy Commander Anthony J. Lynch Memorial Award is presented annually to a Randolph Upper School student who consistently shares the characteristics displayed by Commander Anthony J. Lynch: deep concern for others, truth, honesty, and love for his country. This year's recipient of the Anthony J. Lynch Memorial Award is Sophia Ward. The Lyle Alumni Award was established in 1979 by Katie Lyle Holt in honor of her daughters, Karen M. Lyle and Kathy A. Lyle, who both attended Randolph School. The Lyle Alumni Scholarship is presented annually to one male and one female student completing the 9th grade. The students selected demonstrate the characteristics of enthusiasm, industriousness, pride in achievement, and conscientiousness in performance of both academic and non-academic activities. This year's Lyle Alumni Awards are presented to Sarah Kate Mitchell and David Clary.
This year's recipient of the English Department Excellence in Writing Book Award repeatedly uses writing to analyze literature, human nature, and herself. Gretel LaFrenz wrote personal essays full of narrative flair that analyze the psychology of her room. Or she wrote crisp, analytically precise analyses of film and literature in order to make bold statements about our fascination with heroes that are really villains. In her iSearch, she made connections between art research, scientific research, and philosophical discourse in order to show that fresco painting actually shows a human dependence upon permanence. Greta's writing is eloquent, carefully edited, and nearly perfect in all its language skills. We even asked her to write an extra essay for the National Council of Teachers of English Writing competition as Randolph's nominee for this year's NCTE Award. Like other challenges, Greta accepted this one enthusiastically and poured her heart into it, as well as many hours, connecting the writing contained in her grandmother's old desks to the creative spirit embodied in the musical Hamilton to the architecture of Italy. We commend her ambition and dedication to the written word and its power to help us see our connection to the world. This year's recipient of the Brown Book Award epitomizes the scholar concerned about learning for learning's sake, and thus he set the standard for his peers in AP English Language and Composition. An insightful participant, he always arrived prepared for class, often having done more than was expected so that he could make a positive contribution. His teachers relied upon his questions and his answers to their own queries. He exemplified civic dialogue and intellectual risk-taking in discussions in his writing and in his extracurricular activities. At the North Atlantic International Model United Nations this year, he represented Japan's Minister of Defense on the 2024 United Nations Space Council and worked to amend the outdated 1967 Outer Space Treaty for the mutual benefit of both private industries and public agencies. Then he wrote eloquently about the experience in his iSearch paper. Bold assertions supported by specific evidence characterize his analyses as he consistently explicates and contextualizes his arguments using cross-thematic and cross-period approaches. We are pleased to present the 2020 Brown Book Award to Alex Covert. The English Department Book Award is given to the student who has committed themselves to reading, writing, thinking, and speaking senior year as well as in their entire upper school career. Jordan Snyder has a quiet voice, but it is one of the most powerful. Sometimes loud voices of her peers or her bombastic teacher might crowd out a comment or two of Jordan's, but she is not deterred. Determined, she pushes, and her comments stop the room, shifting the thinking to deeper, surprising analytical conclusions about the text. Jordan doesn't just think out loud. Instead, her preparation of interpretations for class discussions makes her comments the most provocative and meaningful. Similarly, her writing seeks to turn literary analysis into a complex, fierce dialogue about the human spirit. In discussions and in her writing, Jordan is not afraid to debate the big thinkers, and she convincingly critiques the most famous writers. All of her statements are clever and fierce. Throughout her upper school classes, she has used literature to reveal the complexities of the human experience, and her accomplishment speaks volumes.
The National School Choral Award is the highest honor for high school choral performers. It recognizes the dedication and musical achievement of the top choral student in a graduating class. This year's recipient has been involved in choir at Randolph since young voices in 3rd and 4th grade, participating in multiple honor and all-state choirs every year. She has been a standout leader in the upper school choral program and served as president of the a cappella club the last 2 years, of which she was a founding member in her freshman year. She not only possesses a beautiful voice, but also a beautiful heart, always making sure that others feel welcome and included. This year's National School Choral Award is presented to Jisoo Kim. This year's Technical Theater Award recipient has volunteered for a variety of theatrical positions backstage, particularly props and house management. She has been known to step in at a moment's notice to keep technical plates spinning in the midst of a production. For her considerable and flexible commitment to the on- and off-stage theatrical arts, always delivered with a chipper tone and a bounce in her step, helping to bring the bounce to the rest of us, the Technical Theater Award for 2020 is awarded to Abby Amos. His peers count on him for steady calm and for wry humor, as well as for stepping into leadership whenever the need arises. After a request for assistance from his director or from a cast or crewmate, it's not unusual to hear a bit of a pause while others hope someone else speaks up, and then to hear this young man chime in with, "I can do it." He shows an evolved understanding of human behavior and demonstrates the aesthetic eye of a director. His commitment to this program has always been about the community and the connections between people rather than about the applause. For his exceptional commitment to the theater program, the Theater Performance Award for 2020 is awarded to David Casimas.
The Mary Flynn Jones Book Award is given each year to a graduating senior who has shown a unique appetite for the visual arts during their time in the upper school. Mrs. Reyes writes about this year's recipient. Watching her work, she diligently and quietly works through very complex problems without pause, except for the occasional quick-witted remark that reveals she was listening all along. When asked about her work, she always reveals great depth to her thinking. When she begins to speak, That sly smile crosses her face. She then matter-of-factly states her amazing reasoning and intentions that leave you dismayed, saying to yourself, Gunga Galunga. This year's recipient of the Mary Flynn Jones Book Award is Victoria Moffett.
The John Philip Sousa Award is the pinnacle of achievement in a high school band. This award recognizes superior musicianship, dependability, loyalty, and cooperation. The recipient of this award is a strong and quiet leader, a quintessential musician, and a person of great integrity. Serving as the band leadership team president, his peers admire him for his excellent musicianship and kind demeanor. He is a perennial all-state and district band member, a talented percussionist, and skilled pianist off campus. In addition to his rigorous academic schedule, involvement in investment club, and wrestling, he practices diligently in the band hall over the weekend and, with my permission, borrowed an entire marimba to practice at home and returned it in mint condition. Please help me congratulate the 2020 John Philip Sousa Award to none other than Mr. Simon Yang. The Patrick S. Gilmore Band Award is a national award that honors an outstanding high school band student and their achievements and commitment to the band. The recipient of this award is an exemplary musician with great character. He is a multi-year all-state and district band member and a model euphonium and tuba section leader. His optimism and perseverance is an inspiration to his peers. An unforgettable moment was his sole voluntary performance for the world-renowned brass quintet, the Canadian Brass. The 2020 Patrick Gilmore Award is presented to Mr. Chase Gaida.
This year's Spanish Book Award recipient is a very talented individual who continues to raise the bar for his own personal achievement. Throughout his Spanish education, he has demonstrated a desire to learn all that he can and to apply that knowledge as he develops as a non-native speaker. This student very quickly assesses the skills needed for each new language task and then puts forth the effort to master those skills. Not only did he accomplish incredible growth as an AP Spanish language and culture student this year, but he also assumed the role of a quiet and humble leader in his class, demonstrating concern and support for his fellow classmates. His outstanding performance evokes incredible admiration and respect. We are pleased to present this year's Spanish Book Award to Ethan Wan. Congratulations, Ethan. It is my pleasure to give the French Book Award to a student that has grown enormously in his 4 years as an upper school French student. He started his tenure at the upper school as a shy, reserved student in French 2. He has become an astute grammarian, inducted as a junior into the National French Honor Society. I can always count on him to make thoughtful contributions to classroom discussion. He leads quietly, often redirecting classroom discussion with one well-delivered insight. Not only a sophisticated speaker of the language, he also writes elegantly. He is thoughtful of his peers in the classroom environment and is passionate about French language, history, and culture. I am happy to give the French Book Award this year to Jacques Maurer. Félicitations, Jacques. This year's Latin Book Award recipient stands out in many ways. She is an excellent Latinist and has a solid grasp of some of the more difficult material that Latin has to offer. She is amazingly consistent, always bringing her best to whatever task is placed in front of her. She is a member of the National Junior Classical League Honor Society, meaning that she has maintained a high GPA throughout the 3 years she has studied Latin. But I think most importantly, she is a kind and generous person, always willing to help out when there is a need. Her quiet leadership is profound as she leads by example and demonstrates what can be accomplished by hard work, a positive attitude, and a sincere benevolence to those around her. I am delighted to award this year's Latin Book Award to Lorelei Darcy. Congratulations, Lorelei.
Looking at the changes the sciences have brought to our lives in the last century, we can only imagine how they will impact the upcoming decades. The sciences represent more than just a catalyst for the hope for future advancement. They serve as a model for analytical thought. The Bausch and Lomb Honorary Science Award is presented to a member of the junior class by the University of Rochester and Bausch and Lomb to indicate their commitment to scientific study. This year's award is presented to Greta LaFrance. The Rensselaer Award is presented annually to a junior who is the outstanding math and science student. The recipient demonstrates potential for success in a scientific or technologically oriented profession. I am pleased to present this year's award to Marko Milinkovic.
In addition to these two awards, Greta and Marco will receive the J&J Awards, which are granted every 5 years to a male and female member of the junior class who demonstrate excellence in and a commitment to science, musical performance, and/or mentorship and outreach within the community. Congratulations to both Greta and Marco.
The Barbara Vought Science Award is given annually to a student who has consistently demonstrated outstanding interest, dedication, and achievement in the pursuit of knowledge in the natural sciences. The science faculty chooses a student who, throughout his or her upper school career, has consistently demonstrated these qualities. The 2020 recipient of the Barbara Vought Award has been an excellent student in all of his science classes. He has chosen science electives from the areas of biology, chemistry, and physics. In the AP Sciences, he has demonstrated a quick mind and often jumps to the answer by intuition. However, if his intuition leads him astray, he enjoys the hard work that is required to find the answers by digging in to discover the nuances of a new type of problem. Once new knowledge is acquired, he is able to apply that knowledge to new situations. He was also an important member of the Science Olympiad team. This year's winner exemplifies commitment and dedication, and he will be a blazer in the fall. The winner of the 2020 Barbara Vought Science Book Award is Ethan Wan.
Math Department is pleased to present the 2020 Department Award to Mr. Chase Guida. Chase is a talented mathematician. He's a gracious classmate. My first memory of him was he was in Miss Santos's room solving a math question, and class change came, and he didn't want to stop. And he has held that tenacity throughout his high school career. So congratulations, Chase.
Each year, the Social Studies Department awards a senior who demonstrates both a mastery of content at the highest level and the skills to apply that knowledge beyond the classroom. This year's recipient has taken 4 AP courses within the Social Studies Department, including U.S. History, Government, Macroeconomics, and European History. His presence is instantly recognizable in the classroom through his enthusiasm, quick-witted humor, and leadership. While his career interests lean more toward engineering, his efforts in the social sciences have shown him to be an accomplished interdisciplinary scholar. His eagerness to think beyond a single field of expertise captures what it means to seek truth. Congratulations to Wes Mitten.
The Outstanding Student Award is presented to the student deemed to be most outstanding in each grade level. This year's recipient of the Outstanding Student Award for the 9th grade has been described by her teachers as conscientious, always prepared, always upbeat, and always interested. She never hesitates to ask questions and often shares things she learns in other subjects or away from school, which helps her make connections to the concepts being discussed in her classes. Her work ethic and kindness also stand out among her many great qualities. I am pleased to present the Outstanding Student Award for the 9th grade to Megan Childs. This year's recipient of the Outstanding Student Award for the 10th grade has been described as an exceptionally talented and motivated student. She is someone who advocates for her own learning, while also being selfless and gracious in helping her peers. This student holds herself to the highest standards academically, while also placing her own character at the forefront. I am pleased to present the Outstanding Student Award for the 10th grade to Emma Hinson. This year's recipient of the Outstanding Student Award for the 11th grade challenged herself with a very rigorous schedule, but has achieved at the highest level in all disciplines. While her work ethic and analytical skills help her stand out amongst a class of very strong students, Her teachers also recognize her for her caring and generous nature, her humility, and above all, her integrity in all that she does. I am pleased to present the Outstanding Student Award for the 11th grade to Greta LaFrance. This year's recipient of the Outstanding Student Award for the 12th grade produced exemplary work in all areas of his academic life. His teachers refer to him as a calm and poised leader whose voice and opinions carry great weight with his classmates. They also describe his ability to examine problems from every angle, regardless of the subject matter, in order to understand the concepts to the greatest level possible. Those that know him well also appreciate his sense of humor, his humility, and his commitment to his friends. As an integral member of our band program, as well as our math team, science Olympiad, and Scholars Bowl, this student's contributions to the life of the upper school have been exceptional. I am pleased to present the Outstanding Student Award for the 12th grade to Chase Gaida.
Good afternoon, everyone, or good whatever time of day it is that you're viewing this. Due to COVID-19, real-life human contact, which is a vital part of our lives, has been taken away from us. Right now, for example, I'm giving this speech through a screen instead of standing at a podium and giving it to a filled auditorium. Due to social distancing, it's become increasingly difficult to stay in contact with people you used to see every day. Luckily, Randolph has provided us with some amazing ways to maintain a relatively normal life and preserve our feeling of community. We had a smooth transition to distance learning through Zoom, which allowed us to continue our education and classwork. We're able to communicate easily with our teachers, and we get to see our peers almost as often as we did before quarantine. We've continued our weekly community times, which help us touch base with our grade and maintain our sense of togetherness. It's little things like taking time to talk about your day with your advisory, or checking up on your peers in the grade group meet, that allow us to stay isolated while also coming together as a community. It's times like these that force us to realize what we've taken for granted in our daily lives. Quarantine has made me realize that even the simplest things, such as seeing my friends at lunch or checking in with my advisor during consultation time, can make a huge difference in my day. I never noticed how happy it made me to hear the words, "Seniors are dismissed," from Mr. Lease, only to have the entire auditorium stand up and file out. Another thing I took for granted is going to the library during free periods and hearing the seniors goof around and subsequently get kicked out by Ms. Kewen. No matter what time of day, rain or shine, the seniors would, without fail, annoy Ms. Kewen enough to make them leave. It's safe to say that next year I'll definitely miss the spirit and energy that the class of 2020 brings to the school. I've been observing the seniors in and outside the classroom for the past 3 years, and it's been quite the journey to see them grow into the people that they are today. It's truly a shame that they've been deprived of their chance to fully experience their senior year. One particular senior I'm honored to have been able to work with this year is current SGA President Laura Kate Evans. Working with Laura Kate has given me invaluable insight into what it means to be SGA President. She's hardworking, communicative, flexible, and overall a great model of what a president should be. With Laura Kate's leadership, SGA was able to bring back Halloween Fest, an event that I hope to organize next year as well. We were also able to put on 2 successful dances, plan 2 Spirit Weeks, and organize many pep rallies, including the first ever Randolph Blacklight Pep Rally. None of these events would be nearly as successful or enjoyable without Laura Kate's hard work and planning. Looking to the future, which, if all goes well, will be back to normal, I hope to work with other members of SGA, as well as teachers and administrators, to provide an enjoyable and fun school year. With the blueprints of Laura Kate's and previous SGA presidents' leadership, as well as a newfound gratitude for the little things that we once took for granted, I believe that we'll be able to have a fantastic year. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley, and thank you all for joining us for our virtual Awards Day ceremony. In addition to those recognized during this presentation, we'd also like to take a moment to recognize the students whose achievements in individual courses have been acknowledged by their teachers. To these students and our entire upper school student body, I would like to thank them for their hard work throughout the year, but especially over the past 2 months. To our faculty, staff, and administrators, I express my deepest appreciation and gratitude for the tremendous efforts you've made to ensure that our community continue to learn and care for one another despite the distance between us. And to all of you who have meant so much to my family and me over the past 12 years, thank you, and I hope we'll be in touch. Thank you all again, and enjoy the rest of the evening.